BlackBerry.com.
This is the BlackBerry Z3 Jakarta edition. This is the first BlackBerry 10 device to come from the BlackBerry Foxconn partnership under John Chen. It's not an LTE device, but it is going to be available exclusively in Indonesia at launch, and then it'll move on to other areas in Asia as well. Whether we'll see it go beyond that, we're not quite sure, but it's got a great entry-level price, and it's going to make for some very happy users in Indonesia and Asia. And you can see here, it's really not a bad looking device. It doesn't have a removable back, but underneath it's packing a 2500 milliamp battery, which is pretty great. There's a 5-inch screen on the front. It's got 1.5 gigabytes of RAM, dual core 1.2 gigahertz processor, 5 megapixel camera on the back, only a 1.1 megapixel camera on the front, which shouldn't be such a big issue. There's 8 gigabytes of flash memory, and you can also store an SD card in there, which will help boost that up quite a bit. You can see the power buttons and volume buttons are both there on the left-hand side. Your micro USB charging port is down on the bottom, which should be cool. We might be able to throw it in a dock at some point, which would be awesome. Under the flap on the side here, you can see we have our SD card slot and our SIM card slot. Since there's not a removable back, they have to stick them on the side here. I'm not a huge fan of those flaps, but it makes do. The back here, it's got a nice texture to it. It's not like the Z30 where it can get a little slippery at times, but overall it's got a really good feel. It feels good in the hand. It's got a nice weight to it. It's got this bright 5-inch screen on the front, and it just seems like it's this kind of powerhouse communicator. And it's not built with these amazing specs, but it's still, it still runs BlackBerry 10 like a champ. And we hold it side by side here with the Z30. You can kind of see they're pretty similar for the most part. The back on the Z3 is a little bit different. You can see the Z30's got those curved corners to it. But as far as the thickness goes and the weight, everything is pretty much the same. The ports and buttons are obviously in different places across the board. It's running OS 10.2.1, and it will stay on par with the other BlackBerry 10 devices. So as soon as that BlackBerry 10.3 upgrade hits, the Z3 will get that as well. But everything you need is here. It's got all the basics, your browser, Evernote, weather, contacts, Facebook, your BlackBerry Hub, obviously. Anything and everything that you're going to want is available there. The camera's not terrible, but it doesn't take the greatest pictures. Obviously, it's only 5 megapixels. BlackBerry App World, chock full of all the apps you're going to need. And of course, since you're on 10.2.1, you have the ability to sideload those Android apps as well. But overall, it's running great. The Z3, it's got enough juice to it to keep BlackBerry 10 running smooth. I didn't notice any lag. It feels great. I really like the feel of it, almost better than the Z30, and I might try to give it a whirl for a while. But it's going to be a great device in the Indonesian markets, and as I said before, it's going to branch out to other areas in Asia as well. If you're in the US, Canada, Europe, you might not ever see this device, but overall, I really like this device. It's got a great price point. It runs BlackBerry 10 like a champ. It's got an awesome battery, so it should sell really well. This is the BlackBerry Z3 Jakarta edition.